west.
Yes, I see Roxall. That's in India.
Right. And then across the border is
Birganj.
Birganj.
Yep.
And that's where we crossed.
Okay.
And then up to Kathmandu. And that's where all the hippies were going. That's
to Kathmandu.
The Kathmandu. They used to know the song even. They sung. Anyway, my goodness, that was a city I couldn't believe. All the wooden temples, carvings, the Nehruari people carved and all the different gods up there at the top under the roof over the overhang and stuff, and the bazaars it was just a different world altogether.
Well, now how are the Nepalese people different from the Indian people? I mean, because in Pakistan, that's a Muslim country. India is more of a Hindu country. What are the people in Nepal?
Hindu and Buddhist.
Hindu and Buddhist. Okay.
So you have a lot of it. The money was the same. Like the money in India, it was 10 rupees to the dollar. That was on the black market. In the bank, it was 7 to the dollar.
Okay.
In Nepal, it was the same thing. It was they did it was 10 to the dollar, and then you had 100 paisa. Paisa was the coins, so you had 10 rupees to the dollar, and then you had 100 paisa per rupee, or pice, however you want to say it. So there was 1,000 paisa, and like I said, I was getting a meal for 30 to 33 paisa, which was 3 cents or a little over 3 cents, and like I said, the motels were like 5 cents, or hotels, and in Kathmandu, like I said, it was fall already, November. So it was getting cold because you're in a valley, but you're like a mile high. And so anyhow, while we were there, just walking through the city and looking around, spent I don't know, about close to a month just checking out everything up there. Like I said, the temples, everything. It was just amazing. And everybody said, well, you need to go to Goa, India for Christmas and New Year's. Everybody meets on the bank on the beach at Goa, India. So when we left Kathmandu when we got to Kathmandu into the city, the first thing we had met another guy. He had red beard and red hair. Big, tall guy, 6'3", something like that, maybe 6'4".
Another American. And he traveled through Afghanistan and Pakistan and India and up to Nepal with us. Well, as soon as we got to Kathmandu, they have a lot of beggar kids, and this little beggar kid, that was the first one we seen. He just come running up to us with his hand out, saying "Paisa, paisa, paisa." And he would just follow you around the city, just walk everywhere you walk, paisa, paisa. He never quit, never. And when we'd come to a fence or something like that, the redheaded fella, he'd just pick him up and set him over the fence. But he'd never miss a beat, paisa, 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 and he'd just keep walking along until he had to climb over the fence and get back to us again. And he had a long Nepalese shirt. That's the only thing he had. No pants, no shoes, nothing. He was a beggar boy. Okay.
And we didn't know who he was or at the time and stuff like that. But anyhow, so we knew him because he was, every time you'd go out, he was there hollering paisa, paisa, paisa. So when we left on our way back to India, we went down by bus to Birganj, Rexall, to Patna, and then caught a train all the way over to Bombay. And I also need to tell you too, the water was so bad and stuff, and everybody said you don't want to drink the water. In fact, they had a brochure for Kathmandu. It was right on their tourist brochure is the dirtiest city in the world.
They say the brochure says Kathmandu is the dirtiest city in the world.
Yeah, dirtiest city in the world. Had it right on their brochure. Their tourist brochure.
Well, did they have bottled water then?
No.
So what did you drink?
water out of a fountain like anybody else did or whatever. So anyhow, we bought this here plastic bottle, and all three of us drank out of it. We just had that one bottle, and we filled it up. You try to fill it up at a place that looked better than something that didn't look so good, you know.
Sure.
Well, like I said, we went straight on from Patna all the way across to Bombay, which is on the west coast. And now it's I can't even think of the name of it now. It's changed. They've changed all the names on me. I use the old names yet because that's what I'm used to. Mumbai is what it's called now. And so the red-haired fella, he gets sick on the way there. So as soon as we got to Mumbai, we had to go find a hospital, and it was a UNICEF hospital run by nuns. He had hepatitis. And we were all drinking out of the same water bottle and everything. Well, he was the only one that come down with it. So we got him in the hospital in Bombay, in that UNICEF hospital. And while we were there putting him in the hospital, there was two Danish boys that were getting out of the hospital that had just got over the hepatitis. And they wanted us to go to the train station and get their luggage that they had put in when they got into town. They had come from Karachi, Pakistan. They had got arrested in Karachi for having marijuana. All the time they were in jail, they put you in jail because they want the fine, the money for the fine that they charge you. But all the while they're in prison, or in jail, I should say, the warden and the assistant warden would either bring hash or opium into the prison cell with them and sit there and talk with them and smoke opium and hashish. But they're in there for drugs.
They're in there for pot, and they smoked opium in the prison cell with the warden.
Either opium or hashish.
Well, now, if they were arrested in Karachi, which is in Pakistan, how did you see these guys in Mumbai, which is in India?
They had, when they got out of prison, they went straight to India. They went straight to Bombay.
I see. How long were they in prison?
I think only about a month or something like that. And I think it's what they got sick is why they turned them loose.
Okay.
And they wouldn't pay the fine. They were from Denmark, if I remember right. They were Danish. They were from Denmark. And anyhow, so we went to the train station. We got their clothes out and stuff and took them back to the hospital. And then so we told our friend, I says, we'll just head down to Goa. And when you get out of the hospital, because they said he was going to be there a while, you come on down and we'll have a house rented and on the beach, and then you'll just have a place to stay.
Now, did you leave your redheaded buddy there in the hospital?
Yes, that's that. He had the hepatitis, so and he was going to be there a while. So we went down, told him we'd go down and rent a house on the beach in Goa, and then he'd come down when he got out, because we had planned to spend at least a month there in Goa. They said it was beautiful, and so anyhow, in Bombay, that was another big city that we walked all over. It was different. It was so different too, because it was every place, every region of India is so different. It's unreal.
Well, it's a huge country for one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyway,
because when you said you went from Kathmandu to Bombay, I mean that's not an afternoon jaunt.
No.
And I assume you took the train, right?
Yeah, third class. Everything was steam locomotive back then.
And how long did it take you to get from Kathmandu to Bombay?
Hours, days. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't keep no record of it or stuff. But it wasn't just, you didn't just zoom across. You know, you were stopping in all the little stations and you know, you had to take on water. The train did. They had to take, you know, fuel.
And how many Westerners did you see on this jaunt from Kathmandu to Bombay?
Oh, not a whole lot.
But there were some.
Oh yeah. You ran into people all the time. You were always running into people. either on the train or in the city, or or where you were stopping at, or whatever.
And I guess you could tell a Westerner because they stood out like a sore thumb. They looked so different.
Yeah, there was no problem there, telling them apart.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, we were at a restaurant, and it was just one of these where they removed the wooden slats off the two sides of the restaurant, and then the tables and chairs are there, and we're sitting in there eating. Excuse me. And they had a cat in there that would pick up people would throw their scraps on the floor, and the cat would eat all the scraps. And it just so happened where I was sitting, I could see across the street. And here comes this rat out of the sewer. This rat was huge. I have never seen a rat this big ever in my life. He comes waddling across the street. He comes up. There was one step, and then you stepped up into the building. He put his feet on that first step and sniffed, stuck his nose up in the air and sniffed around, and he seen that cat. He hissed real loud. You ought to seen that cat get out of there. That cat ran, and then that rat come in there and started eating scraps off of the floor.
So the cat didn't chase the rat chased the cat.
The rat chased that cat out of there so fast, he just hissed real loud, and that cat was gone. But anyway, they had two restaurants in Bombay, Mumbai. One had an 80-page menu, and the other one had a 100-page menu. And I don't know about the 100-page one, but we went to the 80-page menu one and ate one day. You had your own booth, you have your own waiter, and they have a curtain across the booth. You're completely enclosed, and then they pull a curtain, and he stands right outside your booth. And anything you want or need or whatever, they're there for you.
Now, was this menu in English, in Hindi? What language?
Both.
Okay.
It was in English and Hindi. And man, oh man, oh man. Everything that we ate, we picked different things, And every one of them, we knew what they were because we had been in India long enough. We knew some of the stuff anyhow. And it all tasted different, and it was delicious. And we ate till we were stuffed. And this is where I spent more money than we should have, but we spent like $1 for two of them. And we ate so much food that it was just unreal. It was gross.
Well, now, did you eat much? Was there much meat to be had, or was it mainly vegetarian food?
They had meat and eggs and stuff like that, but because I got sick on that goat meat, I had already done away with meat pretty much.
Okay.
Not completely, but the vegetarian food was so good that was mainly what I ate. But I'm sure there was probably meat there at the table that night at the restaurant there, but I don't remember for sure. But it had everything: seafood, fish, meat. I mean, you name it. It was incredible. And then all the sweets at the afterwards and stuff like that. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. Still never have. 80-page menu.
What did they have for alcohol?
Okay, certain places they had alcohol, but they wouldn't sell it to the locals. You had to get because you were a tourist, you got an alcohol card.
Okay.
And you were allowed so much alcohol. Well, I didn't drink alcohol, so I sold mine.
Okay.
And like a beer. If you just walked into a place that served beer in India, like in New Delhi or Bombay or Calcutta or something, it was like $1. So I wasn't going to spend $1 on beer. If
right.
You got an ice cream cone or some kind of an ice cream stick, it was like 50 cents. So I never ate no ice cream either. I said I can get that when I'm home. Another thing about India. When you went to a bank to get money, or you went to a railway station to get a ticket, for the train,
Yes.
it could take you a whole half a day. I'm talking about 4, 5, 6 hours just to